You go to a doctor and he tells you to stick out your tongue, and he puts a tongue depressor on your tongue, and then he tells you, this can help me see if you're healthy. You go to Dr. Jesus and you ask him if you're healthy spiritually, and he says, let me see how you use your tongue. James chapter 3 verse 2 says, if anyone is not at fault in the way he says, in what he says, he's a perfect man, a mature, healthy Christian, able to keep his whole body in check. So how is your spiritual health? How do you use your tongue? Well, in verses 3 to 5, it talks about a bit being very small compared to a horse, or a rudder being very small compared to a ship. In both, the bit and the rudder control a horse and a ship. The tongue is small, but it has powerful control for what is good and what is bad. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Just think, you can use your tongue for God's glory. Ed Kimball, he went into a Boston shoe store, and when he left, he had led Dwight Moody to Christ, and Dwight Moody became one of the greatest evangelists in history. A woman at the well, she went back to her town people and brought many to believe in Jesus as the Messiah with the use of her tongue. Peter's short sermon on Pentecost Sunday resulted in 3,000 people getting saved. Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Words can calm a situation or fuel a war. The tongue can speak words of grace, words of kindness, words of strength, words of encouragement. It can build up, comfort, and bless. They can bring peace and gratitude, even holiness and wisdom. Yet from the same mouth can flow words that tear down, crush spirits, destroy visions, bury churches, destroy families and marriages, and personal relationships. I was a pastor of a church, and it was summertime, and we didn't have a guitarist to help with the contemporary singing. I had played a guitar 15 years before. It wasn't that good, but I purchased a decent guitar and I practiced it. And finally, I learned some of the songs well enough to play the songs publicly, and so I joined the keyboard player, and the two of us led in worship. I told the people in the church I wasn't great, but we would get by. About 5 weeks later, one of the leaders of the church came up to me and said, you were right, you can't play the guitar. I took my guitar, I put it back in my guitar case, and I never played it again. The power of his words tore me down and crushed my spirit. Yet, when I was 16, I preached a sermon in a church on youth night, and an older lady came up and said to me, you're going to be a great preacher just like your dad. Well, that fueled my spirit, and I went on to Bible college and seminary, and now I've been a preacher for 45 years. The tongue can be used for good or for bad.